Oh, God, I feel like I gotta hear this one. Good shape.
Damn it, my daughter was like, you need to hear that on TV or a program. And I said, actually, she says that quite a bit.
Good morning, David. Hey,
Good
Dave.
morning, good morning.
Vanessa, we're ready?
Yes.
Yes. Let's do it. I will call this March 30th, 2021 meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to order. Would all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a brief moment of silence. Dave, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And all please remain standing for a brief moment of silence. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here.
Commissioner Boyd?
Here. Quorum. I will note this being live streamed, it's being sent out to our YouTube channel. The public, any member of the public who wishes to participate virtually in the meeting, any member of the public having public comment, should send an email to me at mboyd@lawrencecountypa.gov. That's mboyd@lawrencecountypa.gov. Please include the subject line public comment if you wish to be represented as such. If you don't include that in the subject line or make note of it somewhere in the email, I just treat it as a normal question that I get, 5 or 6 questions from constituents on a day-to-day basis. So specifically say if you want it to be public comment, either in the subject line, preferably in the subject line, or in the main body of the message. That being said, right now the plan is to open up next week.
Yes.
I imagine we'll probably continue accepting public comments virtually in case any resident wishes to participate but doesn't necessarily feel safe coming into the building. Completely understand that, completely willing to accommodate that. So that process will remain in place. But again, hopefully we'll be opened up this time next week. Row officer reports and comments. We have Controller Gettings with us here today. Controller Gettings, do you have anything above and beyond what's on the agenda to report?
Not really. Things seem to be going well. My staff is back in the building. We've been working virtually for some time. Things are moving good. Nobody screaming any louder than any before, and consequently bills are getting paid, and no one's missed their paychecks, and so life is good.
We'd like to hear.
Yes, we would have screaming if people were missing paychecks.
Yes, we would.
Job well done.
Yes, we would definitely have screaming.
Again, public comment, please submit those to mboyd@lawrencecountypa.gov. And again, can't tell you how crucial this is. Put public comment in the subject line. Otherwise, I'm not going to know it's meant for public comment, and to either answer it or pass it off to another staff member to answer it. Fiscal and contractual, we have no advertising for bids or proposals, no receipt of bids or proposals, no fiscal reports, no report on quotes. I will note we do have at least one RFP out right now, our bank RFP, which we had an informational meeting with various banks. The Treasury Fund, the Controller's Office, and Jan Calajanan was here as well. I want to say that was last week. But I think I believe that's the only bid we actively have out right now. Warrant register, we have warrant registers dated March 17th, 19th, and 26th. I'll give my colleagues a minute to check those over and take a motion to accept and file the warrant register. Warrant register is a culmination of the county's fiscal process, which starts with a department head needing something, packed staples, need a bridge repaired, whatever they might need. They fill out a purchase order. That purchase order goes down to the controller's office. Controller encumbers it, makes sure the money's in the budget. It then gets sent up to the Board of Commissioners. Board of Commissioners either sign off on it or we don't. If we don't sign off on it, that's where the process ends. If we do sign off on it, it goes back down to the controller where he makes sure that's being spent in accordance with any necessary state regulations or federal regulations, et cetera. Once the controller signs off on it, notice goes to the treasurer to pay out the bill. Treasurer pays out the bill, and we get a report generated by the controller's office showing all the bills paid for a designated time period. And we vote on them. So as soon as one of you is ready, I'll take a motion to approve, accept, and file warrants.
So moved.
Second. Your motion is second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Up next, approval of the minutes from Tuesday, March 16th, 2021. Again, I'll give my colleagues a minute to check those over before taking the motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second. We have motion is second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries, minutes approved. Written correspondence, presentation of written communications. This is from the PA Public Utility Commission, received on submitted to us on March 17, 2021. I doubt it was received the same day. The subject is proposed installation of fiber optic wireline at Newcastle Industrial Railroad corridor within the public right-of-way limits of Grant Street in Newcastle, Lawrence County, Pennsylvania. Applicant name is the Zayo Group, located in Boulder, Colorado. Applicant attorney, looks like it's just their general counsel. But this is just notification to us that Zayo will be accessing the public right-of-way at Grant Street, Newcastle, Lawrence County, for the purpose of extending its communications network. I'll note, as I usually do, when private companies, developers, public entities, really anybody takes action or applies for a number of different permits, largely related to public right-of-ways or environmental protection standards, they're required by law in many cases to submit notification to the Board of Commissioners that such activities are taking place. Board of Commissioners has no approval authority, no denial authority whatsoever over whether or not those permits get issued. Those are largely the responsibility of the respective state agency they're applying to, whether that be the Department of Environmental Protection, PennDOT, whoever really. We're just required to be notified. But with that, I'll take a motion to accept and file written correspondence.
So moved.
Second. Motion second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Up next, Controller Gettins, I'm going to invite you to speak after giving a brief overview of everything and then turning it over to my colleagues for any comments. Just because I think you of all people would have a better understanding of everything that goes into this than anybody possibly has sitting at this table. We have a proclamation today reading, whereas the county had a resident killed in action on January 5th, 2006 in Fallujah, Iraq, Corporal Albert P. Gettins, USMC of Newcastle, PA. And whereas Corporal Gettins was assigned to Company F, 2nd Battalion, 6th Marine Regiment, 2nd, Mardiv, stationed at Camp Lejeune. Did I say that correctly as well? North Carolina. And whereas Lieutenant Colonel Ryan B. Cohen, Sergeant Master Jose A. Acero, please correct me if I'm saying
Sergeant Major, yes.
Sergeant Major Jose Acero, Captain Moses E. Navas, and First Sergeant Adrian Munoz. Thank you. Are instrumental in motivating and preparing their troops to defend our nation and continue an award known as the Albert P. Gettins Award, emulating the qualities of our Lawrence County son, Corporal Albert P. Gettins. And whereas the Albert P. Gettins Award is given to a Marine of Company F that exhibits outstanding service to his fellow Marines, now therefore be resolved on this 30th day of March 2021 by the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners that Monday, April 5th, 2021, be proclaimed 2nd Battalion, 6th Marine Regiment, Company F Day in Lawrence County. Proclamation's already been signed by the Board of Commissioners, but we'll be taking a formal vote to proclaim that day today. And then we have a number of accompanying resolutions commending the Marines in that battalion. With that being said, Controller Gettins, this is obviously much closer to you than any of us could possibly imagine. When I tell you thank you for your son's sacrifice for his nation, it's just outstanding.
Thank you very much.
But I'll turn it over to you for any comments you might want to make.
This request was made to the commissioners to basically honor the Marines that are in charge of his unit and continue to further the reputation, the history and everything about a Lawrence County son, which happens to be my son. In doing so, you give the military a reason to realize that we as civilians care. And we do have, a stake in this, because as Lawrence County residents, we are saying that this gentleman, who happens to be my son, is being honored on an ongoing basis by them. And in doing so, I try to keep myself in front of their command so that that is not forgotten. And consequently, that furthers the reputation and everything of Lawrence County, Pennsylvania. So that's the reason I've asked you to do this. In doing so, you're giving these Marines encouragement and telling them thank you for their job well done, and thank you for allowing, or thank you for helping us to honor our PGA, my son, the Lawrence County resident. So, and in doing so, you're doing much more than you realize, because in doing so, that helps to really further the reputation of Lawrence County, Pennsylvania in a Camp Lejeune setting. Remember, there are 3 camps: Camp Pendle, Camp Lejeune, and the camp in Okinawa, Japan. Those are the 3 camps that are run by the Marine Corps. 1st Marine Division is in Camp Lejeune. 2nd Marine Division is in Camp Lejeune, or Camp Pendleton, I'm sorry, is 1st Marine. Camp Lejeune is 2nd Marine, and third is in Okinawa. So it's a very important thing, especially for me, and I'm greatly appreciative to the commissioners and to all of you in taking the time and making the effort to do this. It's very well appreciated.
Absolutely. And speaking for the Board of Commissioners, this is something that we're more than happy to do for you, for your son, and we'd be willing to do it, I think, for any individual who served in Lawrence County, who was killed in actions serving our country.
One other thing that, just as I mentioned, Sunday, we were at a ceremony in the James Dugan Hall of Valor at the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Hall in Pittsburgh. And they now honor any military person who has received Silver Star or above. Normally it's Silver Star, Navy Cross, Distinguished Cross, or Medal of Honor. And we were fortunate enough to be in the 2021 class this year. There were 11 people when we conducted. 20 was canceled due to COVID, so they mixed these classes together, so they have a 2021. Normally it's 4 or 5, maybe 6 people. Albert was from Operation Iraqi Freedom, OIF. Most of them were either from World War II or Vietnam. There was one other one from another conflict that I'm not sure exactly, I don't remember exactly what it was. But those are the kind of things that, within a 50-mile radius, Western Pennsylvania is well represented, because that Soldiers and Sailors and John McCabe, CEO, and others that are down there, Tim Neff, who's one of the ones in charge, they do a fantastic job. If you have not been to Soldiers and Sailors, it is worth going. It is an amazing facility, and it does honor to our military veterans. So, appreciate it.
So I'll turn it over to my colleagues for any comments that they might have.
Just thank you for your son's service and his sacrifice. And I'm a firm believer that we need to do things such as this, not just for our younger generation that maybe doesn't have a connection with the greatest generation. I think we're losing that. And by doing these things, we pay respect and honor to just what our military personnel do sacrifice. And like I said, your son gave the ultimate sacrifice. I have several Marines in my family, former, and it's a difficult task to go and
I'm
do
going to
what
joke
they
with
do.
you for a moment.
Okay.
There are no former Marines. I've been corrected of that many, many
Okay,
times.
well,
Once
okay,
a Marine, always
okay.
a Marine.
There you
Ask
go.
your brother, he'll tell you
Semper
that.
Fi,
And
there you go.
I'm just
I know.
playing.
I didn't know that. I didn't know the
corrected on that
correct
a number of
terminology.
times.
See, there you go.
I
Now I
said,
know what I can
I'm not a
say.
former Marine. I'm always a
Okay,
Marine.
always a Marine, always a Marine. And to be able to just even joke a little bit about it, that's what it is. But I think any way that we can educate or further any type of honor or to recognize any part.
Well, it's been 15 years since my son passed away, and I realize now the group that the Marines and all those who been in, are in, or were in the military service, that we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us.
Yes.
And it's freedom is definitely not free.
No. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Gettings, I seem to recall that we've done these proclamations in years past, have we not?
Yes, you have. I'm a pretty persistent individual. I keep trying to make sure that the command is happy with me.
In fact, I think there were a couple of years you brought some of your son's colleagues to the meeting.
Yes, I have had them here.
Well, I'll simply say it will be an honor for me to vote on these proclamations. Thank you.
They stand on the wall, so we don't have to. And for that, like I said, they stand on the wall, so we don't have to. And for that, we can't be more grateful.
We appreciate it. And Loretta is correct. We must never forget.
Never forget.
Never forget.
Mhm. Never.
And one of the things I did want to mention to you, I've been, you, the gracious board of commissioners has in the past named the building next to us, the Beginnings Government Center Annex. And we are going to be putting in, we will make sure that you're okay with this. We're going to be putting in a display case like they have down at Swords and Sailors somewhere in the building. We'll make sure that you guys are okay with it. But we want to make sure that continues on also. We've been thinking about it. It's only taken us 15 years. We haven't quite got there yet, but we're getting there.
I did view
Slow but sure.
It's government.
the ceremony. I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Yes, it was very nice.
Yeah, we were very pleased.
Absolutely.
We put the 2 minutes on
Yeah.
Robert's
Right.
citation. There was, it was like a 35 or a 40-minute ceremony of all 11, and you stood up in the front, and
Yes.
that was a very difficult 2 minutes to stand, but it was worthwhile.
With all that being said,
Yes.
I'm going to call a vote on each of these proclamations, quite frankly, at the same time, just because I
Sure.
would imagine everything is going to be a yes.
Yes.
But that being said, I will take a motion to approve each of these proclamations before us today, which I'll read the now therefore statements. Now therefore be resolved this 30th day of March 2021 by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners that Monday, April 5, 2021 be proclaimed 2nd Battalion, 6th Marine Regiment Company F Day in Lawrence County. Now therefore be resolved this 30th day of March 2021 by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners that Lawrence County is proud to honor Lieutenant Colonel Brian B. Cohen for perpetuating the continued memory of Corporal Albert P. Gettings. Let it be further resolved that Lieutenant Colonel Brian P. Cohen be commended for motivating the next generation of Marines in the honor, courage, and commitment and qualities of the United States Marine Corps. Let it be further resolved that Sergeant Major
Jose Sarah.
Jose Acero be commended for motivating the next generation of Marines in honor, courage, and commitment, qualities of the United States Marine Corps. Now, if be resolved 30th day of March 2021 by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners, Lawrence County is proud to honor Captain
Moises Novice.
Moises Novice, thank you, for perpetuating the continued memory of Corporal Albert P. Gettings. Be it further resolved that Captain Moises E. Novice be commended for motivating the next generation of Marines in honor, courage, and commitment, qualities of the United States Marine Corps. And now therefore be resolved this 30th day of March 2021 by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners that Lawrence County is proud to honor First Sergeant Adrian Munoz for perpetuating the continued memory of Corporal Albert P. Gettings. Be it further resolved that First Sergeant Adrian Munoz be commended for motivating the next generation of Marines in the honor, courage, and commitment, quality of the United States Marine Corps. I'll take a motion to approve those proclamations.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Spielvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you so
once
much
more.
for your kindness and your motion. We appreciate it. And I want to say hi to Sergeant Munoz, who's at Disney World today.
Oh.
You might be running into our solicitor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jason's down there now too.
Oh, I'll be darned.
But no, it's the absolute least we can do for these.
Yes.
Thank you very, very much.
Yes.
I greatly
Yes.
appreciate it.
With that, we will move on to staff reports. We have Director McKinney here from our planning department. Amy, do you have anything to report above and beyond what's already on the agenda? Keep it simple. Commissioner reports and comments. I'm on deck first today. And starting next Monday and running through April 16th, we will have a number of county employees conducting a housing study in Union Township. Huh?
I was wondering what you were leading up to.
Yeah. Conducting a housing study in Union Township. The study area stretches from Atlantic Avenue up to Matilda Avenue and then straddles the municipal line. So it's effectively a large square area. But we're going to be looking at effectively the quality of the houses in that area and see if there's any places where potential redevelopment efforts can take place and potential improvements can be made. And so to that end, a letter is being sent out currently to all the residents in this area, noting that this housing study is taking place. We're also hoping the Newcastle News will push something out just to notify residents that this is taking place, and then we're going to push some stuff out via social media, again, informing residents of that neighborhood that county employees will be on the ground there. They will be identified, they will be wearing their badges, so if any resident feels unsafe, feels uncertain as to whether or not that individual is a county employee, they should be able to identify them via badges. And if the badge might be, maybe they have it on their side and they're turned in a certain way, or maybe, but residents, if they simply ask those employees to furnish their badge, they will do so. We'll also be notifying LEOC, the county employees will be walking around there. In the event somebody calls 911, LEOC will be able to inform them, hey, this is taking place. Amy, am I missing anything there?
Cover it all.
It won't be going in the house.
No.
They will not be going in the
They
houses.
will be asking
Won't be on
because they're
anybody's
right.
property. Won't be on anybody's
Right.
property.
What they will be doing is they'll be completing a basic study, a survey on their phones, and taking pictures of individual parcels of property, which will go into a GIS database for further analysis. But no one will be coming around the back of your house. No one will be. It'll all be done from street access. No one's actually going to be on the property, but that'll be taking place from April 5th to April 16th. And Commissioner Vogel, you're on deck next.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have nothing for today. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Commissioner Spielvogel.
I do have just an update. I'm trying to keep track or pay attention to the vaccine distribution for Lawrence County. We all know that it's been a difficult, trying time. But Pennsylvania is moving up in the ranks. I checked this morning that as of yesterday, there's over 5 million doses that have been administered, and that we, Pennsylvania, ranked 12th in the country for first doses being given. So that is definitely an increase in our ranking as far as getting the vaccine in the arms of our fellow Pennsylvania residents. So that is a good thing. And here in Lawrence County, we're trying as best as we can to get the vaccine in people's arms. And UPMC continues to do the mass inoculations up at the Y zone. And I believe last count when I spoke with, Kevin McDonald I think that's who I spoke to. At least 800 every Tuesday is what they're getting done, which is really, really good. And there are several other pharmacies that are continuing to receive vaccines. And today, Hometown Pharmacy will be in Elwood City doing a smaller type of clinic down there. So we're trying to get as much as we can out around the county as we can. And the more doses we get, the more people get vaccinated. And hopefully we can get rid of these by the summer, because that'll be another summer of masks that we don't want to wear. So until then, until you're vaccinated, or if you choose to not be vaccinated, just continue to wear your mask, wash your hands. Personal hygiene, that's it. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll move on to the new business section of our agenda. We have a number of resolutions. The vast majority of them are budget related. But first and foremost, we have two from Director McKinney. With our plan department, first is resolution for discussion possible approval to amend the 2021 budget for CDBG CV grant dollars. These are dollars we received in conjunction with COVID-19 crisis. And then second, resolution for discussion possible approval into agreement with Great Communities Consulting LLC. I'm assuming that's for help in the administration of CDBG dollars. So Amy, you have the floor. What do we have going on first with CDBG CV and then with Great Communities Consulting?
Sure. The CDBG CV, like you said, was additional CDBG money that came we got notification it was coming last year. We applied for it. It works the same as our CDBG where we are administering it on behalf of Elwood City, Shenango Township, and Union Township, and then obviously the county's pot of money. So really this is just amending our budget because we weren't sure when the money was gonna come. We now finally have everything set up into our HUD IDIS system. We have our identification number so that the controller's office can start paying the bills that we've received from North County Community Action Partnership. Yeah, I think it's around $300,000. I don't know the exact numbers that we received.
This is total for Lawrence.
Lawrence, Elwood, Union, and Shenango. Yeah, including our admin. It's a smaller pot of money than our normal CDBG allocation, but around $300,000. The majority of that money is working with Lawrence County Community Action Partnership in administering their teen program where they've been doing basically meals to those who have not been able to get out because of the COVID-19 delivery to them. We're also using some of that money to purchase some protective equipment, PPE, to reimburse our municipalities. They've been doing purchasing PPE, sanitizing the fire departments. We're not able to use it for sanitization of our government buildings or our police, but for the fire departments we are. Morgan was in my office yesterday when I was having that conversation with my grant manager, trying to make sure that we're following the proper guidelines, but yeah, so we can reimburse for fire departments. And then Elwood City is going to be doing a small business grant. It's definitely not the same as our small business grant. We have to follow income guidelines based off HUD's guidelines. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. And now we can start actually spending that money. We have the contract and everything set up.
Great. I think we received notification of this contract back in March or April.
It was April, I had my first call, got the allocation, and said we were gonna have the money by June.
We did not.
Not the Maybe money, this year,
not
maybe
the
it was
money,
the 20th.
The contract, but we did not receive the contract until February.
Well, thankfully, we have it out.
We have it.
We have it now.
Right.
A huge part of this goes into our continued commitment to help getting our community through the COVID-19 crisis. And I want to just reiterate how phenomenal the TEAMS program has been in serving county residents who were unable or feel uncomfortable leaving their homes to go get food. And so I think we're all happy to support that initiative. And thank you to our friends at LCAP for taking the initiative to run that program. The other additional add-on for the county specific allotment, and I'm not going to speak to Shenango or Elwood or Union since they make their own decisions and we just administer the pots for them. But we provided each county fire department with the opportunity to be reimbursed for different PPE expenditures that they've incurred. That happened last year, probably May or June of last year. We gave those fire companies an ample amount of time to respond to see if they wanted any reimbursements for PPE. The only fire company which did respond was Wurtemberg Perry Fire Department, Volunteer Fire Department. And so to that end, we're able to get that VFD $10,000 in reimbursement for PPE that they purchased. We wish more fire departments would apply.
Right.
But unfortunately that wasn't the case. And Wurtemberg Perry, we're glad we're able to help them out. Any further questions or comments relating to resolution 2021-065? 065
I
from my colleagues.
I do. Or Dan, did you have something?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
I'll go after you.
Okay, I apologize. And then this is just something for you, at your convenience. I'm just curious on an update on if they give you updates on the number of meals and the number of people that they serve.
Yeah, I'll have to get
Okay.
the agenda.
And only because, again, I go back to the vaccine, I guess I'm the vaccine person here. They're gonna, speaking of shut-ins, almost, that's a concern from the state. And I think Governor Wolf has mentioned that, Department of Health, that they have a concern with shut-ins, with people not actually being able to go to get the vaccine. Maybe have a nurse on hand with
The needle with the vaccine.
I don't know, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? If we have that many that really can't get out,
Yeah.
if there's a way to track that number, and that would be the only reason I would want to know something like that, we're always thinking of different things that we could do, that I'm just,
I'll give Jen a call. Yeah, Jen will have those numbers.
and just see if that's, something that, I don't know how it would be coordinated or what we could do, but I'm sure that we could get that accomplished and see if there is a need for it. All right, thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Amy, I've got two questions for you. One is a more general question, the second one's a little more specific. These CDBG dollars that we have received, am I correct that every other county in the Commonwealth would have received dollars as well?
Every county in the Commonwealth had the opportunity to receive this. There are some that opted out. I
Interesting.
think there were a couple, like one or two or something.
Okay.
I didn't yet.
Okay. And my specific question, if you know the answer to this, in the borough of Elwood City, to your knowledge, the small business program that they will be establishing utilizing these dollars, I'm assuming that those businesses must be located within the borough limits. Is that correct? So if they're in Elport Borough or Wayne Township, they would not be eligible.
If they were, Elport and Wayne would all fall under the county's allocation. So, Elwood City Borough, yeah. And I do the county we do our CDBG based off of reimbursement too. So, we're budgeted for, but then we invoice the state and then we get the money. So we actually haven't physically gotten the money deposited into our account, but we do that on a reimbursable agreement. So
Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
All right, thank you.
Move on to the next, Great Community Consultant, what do we have going on?
This is just a renewal of our contract with the consulting to help with any CDBG services. We did this contract last year. I would say the only thing that changed with this year and last year is we just did as an on-needed basis. We did not put a maximum amount in there. Last year we put in not to exceed, I think it was like 50,000, and we didn't even do 10. With COVID,
Sure.
and we just had to adapt, and we kind of figured the things out on our own. So it kind of worked out a little bit, but we still would like to keep this contract, open so that when we do need some additional services with CDBG guidance, we can use this support.
Well, the other thing I want to add is your department's likely to be pretty busy over the course of the next few months.
Yeah.
With
Yes.
the American Rescue Act
Right.
rollout. And
Yes.
so to that end, this gives the department a little bit of surgeability
Yeah, absolutely.
in the event of a demand spike for your services. Any questions, comments from my colleagues? I make that resolution 2021-066. And you're welcome to stick around if you want. I don't think there's anything
There's
for,
another question, there was one on there for the PHFA amendment.
oh,
Do you need me to stick around?
I can take that.
Sorry, then. Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Thank
I will
you.
talk to Jen, we'll get.
Okay,
see what we can do. Hey.
Yes, just express that and see. If I can work together and get that, yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
all right. Everything else with the exception of our contract with Mr. Stitch for West Nile is budget related. So I'll try to cover these as briefly and as expeditiously as possible. First up is a discussion and possible approval of amendment 2021 budget. We received some additional dollars relating to our STOP grant, which helps cover different instances of domestic abuse in Lawrence County. The DA administers the grant, but naturally, with the commissioners being responsible for fiscal and contractual agreements, we do have to edit up the budget to allow the DA to expend these additional funds. Questions, comments on that? Make that resolution 2021-067. Next, this is another budget amendment out of the district attorney's office. This relates to another program that the district attorney works with LCAP on. It's effectively a recovery program. It helps individuals who are in recovery from drug and alcohol addictions find meaningful employment. And so to that end, it's unrestricted dollars. So dollars which aren't related to programmatic costs will be able to be put back into our general fund, which are effectively used as an offset to the salary of the individual who's currently employed and working this program. So we have here increasing the recovery account by $44,000, increasing the program expense account by $9,000, increasing salary of staff expense account by $3,232, and that'll actually be addressed at salary board in late April. Increasing the FICA expense account in an amount proportional to that. Salary of staff expense account increase, and the increase in commissioner's contingency by $31,500. And again, the thought here is this is effectively used as an offset for the salary of the individual performing the tasks associated with the program. Any questions, comments on that? Make that resolution 2021-06A. Next, we do this one every year. County receives a grant award and contracts with a private consultant to identify and eradicate West Nile virus in Lawrence County. This is just simply a contractual agreement to enter into that program. Questions, comments? Make that resolution 2021-069. This is a sizable budget amendment. What it does is we had a number of vacation payouts which were not accounted for in the 2021 budget when it was pulled together. Quite frankly, simply because by the time those numbers were being pulled together, we didn't know who was getting paid out for what vacations. We were pulling the numbers together in October. This adjusts the budget to account for those expenditures. We have $119,000 this year in vacation payouts to our various employees. And then there's an additional, I want to say $20,000 or $30,000 in there relating to payments for our retirement incentive. So employees had the option in our retirement incentive of either taking the payout in 20, in 21, or splitting the payment between 20 and 21. I will note that the assumption is that the vacation payouts were as large as they were due to the COVID-19 crisis. At the same time, the county amended its vacation payout policy for non-union employees, either last meeting or the meeting before, to try to get these vacation payout expenditures under control. We're also currently in negotiations with one of our labor unions relating to vacation expenditures. And I imagine we'll be in negotiations with another labor union soon relating to those vacation expenditures. But we will certainly never have another $119,000 payout for vacation expenditures again after we're done taking corrective measures. Questions, comments on that? The other thing I'll add in relation to this is that this effectively, I don't know exactly how the contingency is going to shake out after this, but imagine with the amendment with District Attorney Lamacusa and those dollars that we're receiving in relation to that recovery program, I imagine we'll be down to about $50,000 in the contingency for unanticipated and unbudgeted expenditures. And that's just sort of where we're at right now. But we'll make that resolution 2021-70. Up next, this is a good one. Fair grant. We'll make it 2021-71. We budgeted $175,000 for the fair grant. We received $300,000 from the grant.
There you go.
And so to that end, we need to adjust the revenue and expense items to allow us to undertake more activities as covered under the fair grant. We largely use this grant for demolition projects in and around County of Lawrence. But we got more money than we thought, which is always a good thing. Up next, we received, this is a resolution for discussion of possible approval of amendment of the 2021 budget for a check from CCAP. We had a minor incident with one of our CYS vehicles where it was turned into the insurance. This is simply our insurance reimbursing us for expenditures made to fix that vehicle. Make that resolution 2021-72. Tax claim. There was an expenditure, a large expenditure from last year that was made in relation to COVID-19 preparedness, which allowed for payments to be taken via credit card, via debit card, set that system up at a tax claim. It was not paid until this year. And so to that end, the budget figure was accounted for in this year's budget, which blew the line item, pretty much blew it up. And so what this does is this transfers over $7,500 from tax claim part-time to tax claim contracted consultants to allow for the operations of that office to continue. Right now, there is no part-time employee at a tax claim, and at least for the immediate future, I don't foresee there being a part-time employee at a tax claim, so we're not really damaging that department making the transfer. Questions, comments? I think this is the last one here with the sheriff. This is transferring $5,000 from Perry's contingency to his materials and supplies budget. Rationale for this is there's an ammo shortage across the nation right now. Sheriff's office is one of those offices. They do carry guns and they do carry ammunition, and they train with those guns and they train with that ammunition.
Yes.
And so to that end, ammo right now is on a 1-year back order. And so this is effectively, Perry's trying to make his ammo purchases that he needs for next year now, because it's going to take a year just to get here. So that's kind of what we're doing there. Unfortunately, also with the ammo shortage, just basic economic cost of ammo goes up. But that's part of the business we do here in Lawrence County.
That's it.
And the hope is we never have to use that ammo outside of training.
That's right.
But it's certainly there if they need to. What we'll do here is we'll take administrative transfers A and B as one vote, and we'll go back through the resolutions if that's amenable to both of you. I'll take a motion to approve administrative transfers A and B.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Money transferred. Up next, I'll take a motion to amend the agenda to allow for voting on resolutions 2021-65 through 2021-72.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Questions on the motion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll run through these as expeditiously as possible. Resolution 2021-65, now be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to amend the 2021 Lawrence County budget to add CDBG CV expenditures and revenue accounts, include the following CDBG CV line items. I'm not going to run through all those. I'm just going to call the motion. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Motion is second on resolution 2021-65. Are there any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-66, now therefore be resolved by Lawrence County Commissioners. Lawrence County Commissioners hereby enter into a contract with Great Communities Consulting LLC to assist with the administration of Lawrence County Community Development Block Grant Program. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second. We have a motion is second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Did we miss?
Yes,
one?
yes, but no, I don't think we missed one, but I do have
Maybe out of order?
I have a, I have it at 66.
Yeah, you're
66.
correct.
Yeah.
Listed on 66.
I think you did, but I have a question.
Sure.
But I want to make sure Commissioner Spielvogel's okay first.
My apologies. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Amy may have said this, and I'm sure it's specified in the contract, but this resolution does not indicate unless I'm missing it, does not indicate the length of time of the contract. Again, I'm sure the contract states, Joe, maybe you know, maybe you've seen the contract.
It's showing on December 31st, 2022.
Would you folks be amenable to adding that as a whereas, just so the resolution has language? I realize the contract says it, but sometimes we look back and only refer to the resolution. I'd like to amend this to add that whereas the contract will expire on, when did you say, December 31 of 2022?
That's correct.
Well, here's what we'll do. Can I get a second from you to Loretta's motion first?
Yes, yeah, I'll second it.
And then can I have a motion to amend, resolution 2021-66, to, if I could put the language in there as Dan, is formally.
I'll move to amend.
Second.
We have a motion second on the amendment. We'll just do a voice vote on this one. Any further discussion on the amendment? Hearing none, question on the motion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Resolution's amended. And Vanessa, that'll be need to note for the minutes.
Yep, got it.
And we still have a motion and a second for approving the actual resolution.
Right.
Any
Right.
further discussion on that? Hearing none, questions on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely. Resolution 2021-67, now that be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to amend the 2021 Lawrence County budget as follows: increasing DA stock grant, revenue fund account by $4,000, increasing DA materials and supplies expense account by $4,000. Questions, comments on that? Hearing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second, is there any discussion? Hearing none, questions on motion? Excuse me, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-068, now therefore resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to amend the 2021 Lawrence County budget as follows: increasing LCAP revenue program, recovery program revenue account by $44,000, increasing DA recovery program expense account by $9,000, increasing DA salary of staff expense account by $3,232, increasing DA FICA expense account by $268, increasing commissioners contingency expense account by $31,500. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second, is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-69, I have to resolve by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to authorize approval and enter an agreement with Dennis Stitch to conduct mosquito and tick surveillance in Lawrence County for compensation as provided for in the attached contract. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, a second, is there any discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-070, now that be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to amend the 2021 Lawrence County budget as follows. I'm sure it's hell not going to read all of those.
No.
However, they are for your glance through if you need to, but otherwise I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Resolution 2021-071, now that be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to amend the 2021 Lawrence County budget as follows: increasing fair grant revenue account by $125,000 and increasing redevelopment authority fair grant expense account by $125,000. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
And also, just for the record, in case anyone was wondering with that specific one, that expense account just allows us to pass the money through to the redevelopment authority. It's not actually making an adjustment to the redevelopment authority's budget, it's their own independent entity. Last on the docket today, resolution 2021-72. Now that be resolved by Lawrence County Board of Commissioners to amend the 2021 Lawrence County budget as follows: increasing miscellaneous revenue CYS revenue fund account by $2,250, increasing vehicle maintenance CYS expense account by $2,250. And again, the reason for that is there was a little collision. We had a check for our insurance for the expenses associated with fixing the damage caused by that collision. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor? Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. No ordinance on the table for introduction or final action today. Announcements, next regularly scheduled Commissioners meeting will be for 10 a.m. on Tuesday, April 6, 2021, in the Commissioners meeting room. Again, the hope is that that will be the first meeting open for the public to
Yes.
actually come in person next week, since our shutdown started back in, it was either, I want to say it was either November. I think it was November.
Was it?
I think it's been that long. So that's the hope right now, assuming we don't see a significant increase in COVID-19 cases in the county, and they are going up, unfortunately. That's certainly what we're shooting for next week. Only other thing to mention is courthouse will be closed this Friday, April 2nd, 2021, in observance of Good Friday. Any other announcements from my colleagues? Am I missing anything? That's very rare. Again, public comments, include public comment in the subject line or in the body of the text, or again, I just assume that it's a question you just want answered and not public comment. If you include it, it'll be included in the minutes. But you can email your public comment to mboyd@lawrencecountypa.gov. On that, I'll take a motion to, unless there's any new business, anything else to discuss, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. A motion is second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same side. Lawrence County Board of Commissioners is adjourned. 1 second.